Patrick Pickleball today here. It is a very rainy day in Ontario, Canada today. I think we're getting the remnants of Hurricane Beryl coming across the U.S. Midwest and into Ontario. Pouring rain here right now. I'm just sitting here having my morning coffee. And I got an ad for Temu, so I thought I'd come in and have a look, just out of curiosity, at what kind of pickleball paddles you get. Now, I have some family that buys a lot of things through this website. Sometimes they're kind of trinkety things for $1 and $5 and stuff like that. I've never ordered from them, I'll be honest. And but I wanted to see just what I use. I play a lot of pickleball. I write about it. I do shows about it, like a podcast called Pickleball Today, the pod. And, basically I'm living a lot of pickleball these days. So I wanted to see what you have on a website like this and whether it's okay, and maybe make a recommendation if I see something really good, or maybe a caution if I see something really bad. So just to take advantage of what I know a little bit about the game and paddles. I sell a lot of paddles, and I know some things about it after a year and a half of doing that. So let's see what we have here. First of all, I just want to see, there's a lot of stuff here. So I'm just going to select a few that catch my attention that look interesting. This has a look. Before I even go further, I will say anybody can put any colors, paint, logos, etc. on a paddle. Anybody can also put, let's see, this one, USA Pickleball approved on a paddle. But is it approved? We got to check that, and we'll explain how to check that a little bit later. Is it the name brand? Well, that's not a name brand company I've ever heard of. And how you would have to check it is know the company name and know the model of the paddle, and then you can see whether that paddle has legitimately been approved. So now that we're in this one, let's have a look and see what we see. Oh, it's excellent in control, power, and spin. Well, spin is to do a little bit with how gritty the surface is, and also if there's a bit of flex to the surface, because that means the ball, as you're hitting it, will kind of get into the surface a bit before it bounces right off it. So if something really hard, if it was like concrete, it just hits it, bounces off, and that's it. So no what they call dwell time. But if there's a bit of give to it, it adds a little dwell time, and then as your paddle moves, you can put spin on it, whether it's up or down or sideways or whatever. Anyway, it's a little difficult to have top high ratings in everything. Because control and power are a little bit too diametrically opposed things. Power would be, it's a hard paddle, and the ball bounces off it really hard. Control means it's a softer paddle, and the ball has that dwell time I was talking about. And spin is, that's a different thing altogether. But it's difficult to have these two factors be so high up there. So I would have to call that marketing or BS. But anyway, we'll see. But definitely marketing for sure. I'm going to zoom in so I can see a little bit more here. Let's choose the racket that's right. It doesn't say what kind of carbon fiber. Down here. T700. So there's a T700 is a grade of carbon fiber material. That grade being then put on the face. There are brands of that grade of material, and the one that people say is the best is called Toray T700. It's not saying that. That product comes from Japan. It's very expensive, and there are paddles out there for $100 that use it. But this is not saying it, and I didn't even notice what the price was. And we'll go back and check that. Grip. That's an interesting looking grip. I like that color. It looks like a slight ridge on here, but it's not. I mean, it's fairly smooth. There's ones where this line like this is a is fairly pronounced, and I don't like that. First of all, I'm left-handed, so it's usually kind of going the wrong way, and but I'm just not a fan of it. I like, what's important is the grip size to fit my hand, and I want to put it around comfortable. Usually 4 1/4, is a typical inches grip size, and that's most people can handle that. But it's not really saying much else. Is there a product description? Let me go back. Escape. If I go back. Brand, see more. No, there's not much more. It's the same old. It's just the same images. So it's only $40 paddle. It is some kind of carbon fiber. Reviews are... reviews look legitimate anyway. That's more of what I'm looking for than exactly what they're saying. Well, that's interesting. They're showing a picture of the paddle and put the review here, but that's not the same paddle. So that's a little weird. Not a bad paddle. Oh, okay. Not an outstanding review. But anyway. Okay, let's go look at one or two others quickly. It's kind of a cool looking one here. Looks like an edgeless paddle. Edgeless being no edge guard around the outside. Let's see. An adult carbon fiber pickleball paddle. Okay, you know what? It's legit. In other words, it's a full regular size as opposed to a really small size for kids. There are some of those. It's just, I've never seen a paddle advertised as an adult paddle. You usually just say it's a paddle. T700, hot pressed. Okay, so it's kind of molded and hot pressed. Honeycomb core, typical matte sandblasted finish. That's kind of an interesting thing. This carbon fiber, if it is carbon fiber, is typically not painted to this degree. Therefore the paint is getting into the fibrous texture and therefore taking away the thing. Maybe they spray on a grit, though some companies do that afterwards. It's a nice color. It doesn't surface process. Okay, frosted. Yeah, I would say that's sprayed on. Yeah, at least they're saying that. That's 8 that's a heavy 8.6 ounces, a little bit heavy. Again, $65. It's not a crazy price. They do not say it's USA Pickleball approved. Why would I want that? Oh, it says USAPA standard. Oh, it's an odd description, but anyway. It's not approved, but it's a nice looking paddle. That's about what I would say for that, and it's $65. It's not a fortune, but you can get approved ones that are. Let's see if anything else catches my attention. At least this seems to have a name brand to it, X-Ace. So there you can go. It has the USA approved logo. USA approved just means you can play it in tournaments. And I tend to think clubs kind of limit that a little bit too. In other words, they don't want to have people coming in with something that's totally crazy because it's dangerous. But anyway, so you have a name here, and I'm going to leave a link in the show notes so that you can, or the video notes, so you can see how to check. So you would look up X-Ace as a brand. I don't know what model it would be. Maybe premium, but that's a bit kind of an odd model. Oh, there we go, Performance Series. So you would look that up, and you'll see if it legitimately is. But again, these people, anybody can print stuff on anything. Not a lot of reviews here. That's it. There's only 2 reviews in that one, so it's a little slim pickings. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, it's an interesting looking paddle. The single hole here is a lot like a Selkirk Power Air. Invicta shape would be like this shape. This would be more of one of their other shapes, a little shorter. So this is a lengthier one. So that hole there. Now there's got a couple other holes. I didn't think you were allowed to have more than one to be approved, but I would have to double check that to be fair. So we at least have a name brand or a brand that you can then double check. And we have a model name. So you would look up Aeronax Speed X or K1, whatever that is, and then you can see if that's approved. And again, I'll leave you a link below here. I mean, they're certainly attractive. I like a little color. I would expect that then, therefore, we'll have a spray-on grit as well because of the paint. Whereas we'll see, I'll just go back and I'll show you a regular carbon fiber one. But that's a nice, it's $125. So you're paying kind of into name brand prices. And this is what I mean by a carbon fiber one. Maybe this was one we reviewed. But basically you'll see, because you've got your grit of your carbon fiber surface, you don't want to fill that with a bunch of paint. Otherwise it's defeating the purpose. And otherwise you'll have to spray something on to give it grit, and the grit will gradually wear off. But this kind of paddle and this kind of graphic is typical on a regular carbon fiber paddle, so that the carbon fiber material doesn't get loaded up and clogged up with paint, and therefore defeats the whole purpose of having a textured surface. Just trying to see something that looks a bit more reasonable. Well, there's a pure knockoff of a Selkirk Air Invicta. They've got a logo similar. They've got a brand. Well, Selkirk is an Invicta. This is an HT Pick. Just gonna look at it. Oh yeah, this is where it would say Invicta on the Selkirk paddle, and it says HT Pick, and which is the brand name. I don't know what the model is here. I don't know. It doesn't say. And then their logo is a little bit of a Selkirk's an S, and this is whatever, an H. But other than that, it's a knockoff of or at least a copy. Again, they say something because somebody copies it. That doesn't mean they're the manufacturer that manufactures them for Selkirk or some other name brand. It just means they're doing the spell. They may be, but how do you know that, right? There's no way for us to tell that. Well, there's some interest. I mean, you can buy ones like that on Amazon too. But anyway, that's about it. I think this was similar to that Aeronax. Is that Aeronax too? Yeah. So those are a little bit up there, in price, but I guess it appears to be they're a brand. So anyway, we're up to about 13 minutes. It's just my general idea. I guess I would caution also, as I said, I wouldn't, if I was to buy something from here, I would not put my own credit card in. I don't want that getting outside of at least North America. It may be already, but no sense, playing with fire. I would probably use PayPal if they give that as an option. I think they do. I checked that earlier. But so there are some, I would say, adequate things out there. You might save a little bit, might save a lot, but I'm still inclined to go with a name brand company. And some of them you can get for, $100 plus. Some I have, some you can get on Amazon. And I'll leave links in the show notes. If you like the video and you like giving you some info, just give me a like, thumbs up, and maybe if you want to subscribe to the channel. We put a lot of material out. We even have a podcast called Pickleball Today, the pod. And thank you for listening. We'll see you in another video. Bye-bye.